All right, the next speaker, there are many pro-life groups in the state of Texas, but this is really the real pro-life group that really does fight for life. And so John Seago is going to come up. Please give him a round of applause.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. It's exciting to be here with this new chapter. And Julie's been making a lot of, stirs up a lot of trouble down in Austin, and now to have another group and a third group in Dallas. I can't imagine the trouble that you guys are going to cause in the next session. So this is exciting. So my name is John Seago. I serve as the legislative director for Texas Right to Life. We're the oldest and largest statewide pro-life organization here in Texas, and we fight for innocent human life from fertilization until natural death. And so we deal with issues like abortion, patients' rights, euthanasia, and other threats against innocent human life right here in our state. And so you may think, okay, here's our pro-life guy. Yeah, we always have to say every session we're going to work on pro-life things. But I have a little pop quiz for you. How many deaths have we recorded related to COVID in Texas so far? Just throw it out. Anybody know? I gotta be able to tell the number.
About 10,000.
32. Sorry, I can't really understand. It's got echoing. All right, who says 1,000? 1,000? More than 1,000? 5,000? 15,000? The number is 14,000. Okay, so we're recording 14,000 deaths related to COVID in Texas so far. Okay, and those are related deaths. Now, who can tell us how many deaths related to abortion did we have last year in Texas?
55,000, about approximately.
So somebody knows their homework here. 53,000. Every year in Texas, we're aborting more than 53,000 innocent human lives, intentionally, on purpose, and paying money for it every year. And now, when we have 14,000 related deaths to this, it's a pandemic. We're shutting down businesses. We're losing our minds. You're wearing a mask. Our state is going crazy. You would think that's a pro-life reaction. But I say no, that is hypocrisy, because every year, think of the innocent human lives, and that's just abortion. That's not related to the euthanasia, the stealth euthanasia that we have in Texas against vulnerable patients. So I say, yes, we're going to talk about the pro-life issue again. And yes, in the session, I'm going to ask you to come down to Austin and talk to your elected officials about the pandemic that we have that happens every year, but you never see a single headline about it. Elective abortion is an evil in our state, up to the number of 53,000 deaths a year. And so, yes, we're going to keep fighting. And our goal at Texas Right to Life, our goal is to end abortion. We all agree. Our goal is to end abortion. And one thing that Texas Right to Life feels passionate about is that's not enough to just say we want to end abortion. We're very passionate that whenever we talk to your legislators, to your elected officials, that they say, oh yeah, of course I'm pro-life, I don't like abortion. That's not enough. We need a plan. We need a strategy. What are you going to do, Senator? What are you going to do, Representative, to get us closer to that goal of ending elective abortion, ending the murder of tens of thousands of Texans every month? So, we have to say, it was already mentioned earlier, we have to just admit, last session was a failure when it comes to the pro-life issue. Probably because of the fatigue, because the pro-life group comes up, you write your senator, we got to work on pro-life stuff. Oh yeah, of course, we're Republican, of course we're pro-life, we'll do something. They didn't. They didn't pass a single bill that banned any abortions in Texas last year. They passed one significant pro-life legislation that dealt with funding, and it was a good policy. But our position is, it's a failure of a session if you don't pass any bills that actually ban abortions, actually stops the murder. That's what I'm always going to look at. I get legislators all the time saying, hey, I've got a great idea. Or hey, look, this state did this bill, let's do that. My first question is, does it stop the murder? If you can't prove to me that it's going to stop a single murder, I'm not going to be for that bill. If it's going to be about license plates, if it's going to be about pro-life billboards, if it's going to be feel-good legislation, I'm not on board. We have to stop the murder. And so last session was a failure. And we have to work better. As the grassroots, we have to be more clear on what we're asking our legislators. Not just asking if they're pro-life, but what is their plan? What types of bills are they supporting that actually ban abortions? So we have two goals going into next year. We want to work to stop abortion, and we want to stop euthanasia. So I want to mention two bills that we're going to be working on this session. First is the Texas Abolition Strategy. The Texas Abolition Strategy, it's what they call in the Capitol an omnibus bill. It's an omnibus pro-life bill because it's one bill with three policies wrapped up in it. And if you're an attorney, or if you're an engineer, or you care about the details, come grab one of our one-pagers at our table to kind of see the nuts and bolts of how the bill works. But this is what we're bringing to the Capitol, and this is what my organization tries to do, is we try to bring a strategy that will save lives, that will talk about the baby, not just talk about women's health or talk about why we don't think abortion is nice, but we talk about the unborn child, and it's going to lead to future victories. Our country lives in the shadow of Roe v. Wade, and Texas has a unique role to pass aggressive, prudent legislation that challenges the legal foundation of Roe v. Wade. So we want to be in court. There's some pro-life organizations that want to stay out of court, and that is ridiculous because we have to be in court fighting erroneous precedent, and we have a legal strategy to do that. So the Texas Abolition Strategy is a pro-life omnibus bill that we're going to be working on next session, and you can get more details on our table about that. The second bill I want to mention is a bill to repeal the 10-day rule, the anti-life 10-day rule. And if you haven't heard about it, you might have heard about baby Tinsley. Baby Tinsley was a 1-year-old in Fort Worth, and she was sick, she was not doing well, and a hospital decided that her life was not worth living anymore. And so what you had is you had a physician and you had a hospital committee that told the mother, Tinsley's mother, who was there making decisions, saying, begging them to keep a ventilator going for her child, for her baby daughter. Keep the ventilator going, let's look at cures, let's look at other options, or even let's just look at comfort care and let my child fight for life. And the hospital said no. And then the hospital, they went through this ethics committee meeting and they said, no, we actually don't think it's appropriate to keep treating your daughter. They say treating, but actually it was just a ventilator, helping her breathe, keeping her alive. They weren't asking for a cure, they were asking to allow baby Tinsley to fight for life. So what they said is, okay, we're going to give you 10 days. And if you can pull something off, if you can find another hospital that will take you on your own, you have 10 days to find that. Well, this is a mother who has their child in bed and she's fighting, and this is legal in Texas for a hospital to do this because of the 10-day rule in Texas law. We want to repeal that. Texas Right to Life wants to repeal that rule and have a pro-life policy. A pro-life policy that actually protects vulnerable children like baby Tinsley. So you can learn more about that on the table as well. The best thing that you can do is sign up for our text alerts. And so if you come to our table and you sign up for text alerts, we'll give you a free t-shirt. That's when we're going to give you updates about what bills we're working on, and that's when we're going to give you action items on how you can get involved in the fight. The pro-life movement, we have to unite around these strategies. We have to unite around these bills because our legislators, they're not coming up with good ideas on their own. They just want to tell you that they're pro-life to get your vote and then go down in the Capitol and pass something that they can campaign off of. We actually need to force them to pass strong legislation that will save lives, like the preborn child, like baby Tinsley, the patient in the hospital. So come by the booth, sign up for our text alerts. We have a lot of action items. Like right now, we have a campaign going on. There's one openly pro-abortion Republican in Texas. I say openly because there's some others that are still in the closet. But there's one Republican who is openly pro-abortion. And she actually has, Sarah Davis in Houston, she is actually attacking a pro-life program in our budget. And so our current action campaign is to send messages to that committee that we want to protect the pro-life program. So come by the booth, get our materials, sign up for our text alerts, and come join the fight with us in Austin. Thank you.